What is the name of your business?
Boldify. And right
Boldify.
now,
Thank you.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so Champagne is a women's marketing expert. So she knows how to communicate with women. And the purpose of the show is to bring in outside experts because what got us here won't get us there. And so I wanted to talk to Champagne about her WCR4 framework and how she helps businesses identify and communicate with women more effectively. Champagne, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you so much, Jason. I'm so happy to be here.
on. So tell me about your business.
Yeah, so just like you said, I focus on women, their consumer behavior, and with my WCR4 framework, that is stands for Women's Consumer Research Method, and it is a four-part method in which I am covering emotional behaviors, gender socialization, intersecting demographics, as well as legacy consumerism, which is something that I really, really work on with corporations because a lot of people don't know that women are birthing the next generation of consumers and they are influencing their buying behavior from yay high.
How would you characterize how people make decisions, just general, and how is that different from men versus women?
Yeah, so one of the things that I talk about, like an unknown phenomena, is called purchase panic. And so basically, it just talks about women and how our sales cycle is just long. It's just a long sales cycle. But the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is that when a woman becomes someone that is an evangelist or she becomes a customer, she naturally becomes an evangelist. She's naturally bringing along other customers. So it may take a long time to win her over, but once when she's won over, she is someone who is going to be out there evangelizing for you, bringing new people into the fold and making them aware of the brand. And so when it comes to women, I just think that we are socialized to think harder, to question ourselves a little bit more, and with the phenomena of purchase panic, it's not just the buyer's remorse aspect of it, but it's all of the decision making and the justification for the purchase that happens beforehand as well.
What elements would you say are the most relevant in the decision process?
I think the elements that are the most relevant are obviously price and convenience. However, what I'm seeing now in the marketplace is that women are becoming more value driven, and that there is a certain threshold where they're willing to spend more money. They're willing to wait a little bit longer, especially when we're talking about e commerce, in order to get products and services from brands that they actually respect, they feel like it's doing good in the world. And I'm also seeing that purchase behavior is starting to become something like virtue signaling, where if I'm buying from this sustainable brand, I'm proud of it as a woman and I want to let other people know.
Hmm. What channels would you characterize are the most used channels for relaying that message, the brand messaging?
Surprisingly so, a lot of people think it is your traditional social medias, like your Instagrams or things like that. However, what I'm seeing is that your Reddits, your Discords, your Substacks, the more private kind of platforms are really emerging, especially when we're talking about consumer behavior, collective efforts. Specifically, I've been studying economic boycotts, and a lot of that organization is happening on private discords, in Reddit, online forums, and things like that. Because, an Instagram comment isn't going to be able to give you a step by step guide of where to buy and where not to buy.
Does anonymity have any relevance there?
Oh,
Like with
absolutely, it does.
okay, so people want to talk shit or they want to talk about how much they love it, but they don't want to be necessarily identified with it.
Absolutely. And that's exactly right. They're talking shit, but one of the people, like one of the main kind of people that are wanting to have this anonymity are the employees of these brands. And that is starting to emerge as one of the things that's important to the consumer. They don't want to buy or attend or, you know, get service from a restaurant or bar or something like that that is treating their employees poorly. For example, I'm a regular a lot at a diner here in my neighborhood in Dallas. And when you become closer to the staff, they'll let you in on the trade secrets and things like that. And one of the things that I've experienced is the high turnover makes me as a regular want to leave as well. Like if my favorite people aren't there, then I don't want to go there.
Hmm. You were a server for a while, correct?
Yes, I was for 3 or 4 years.
That's long enough for a lot of people. Um, but
Yes.
so how have you noticed the thing? What kind of things are being reinforced in your consulting career that you learned in serving tables?
Yeah, so I always say that serving tables was the hardest job I've ever had. Even still, with all of the things that I'm doing with corporations, the hardest job is actually being on the floor. And so I think it's so important to start there and then build something from there, because I think that a lot of the decision making is happening top down as opposed to bottom up. And one of the things that I especially learned when serving is upselling. That was my secret sauce was upselling. Yes, I'm getting you your regular beer because I worked at a brew house. I'm getting you your regular beer, but if you're there with people, hey, why not buy the $200 bottle of beer? You're splitting it amongst 5 people. That's only going to be about what $20 a pop, $40 a pop. I'm breaking it down for them and I'm letting them know, hey, this is a celebration. And then if I'm talking to men, I'm like, like you're Mr. Big Bucks over there. You're Daddy Warbucks, you can afford it, treat your people and things like that. And so, and another thing with women is that compliments will take you very far, and genuinely, I love what you're wearing, but more than that, I love that you've come here a lot and I want to get to know you. It seems that this is a place that you enjoy being. I want to make sure that your experience is done well. It sounds kind of controversial, but men and women do think a lot the way that the media portrays them. Women, we do take a long time to make a decision, and men, they say, my clients say it's kind of caveman, but they're making their decision. It's like, me make decision, that's it. Like, there's not a lot of going back and forth because they're not socialized to question their positions. But women, especially when I was on the floor, one thing that I noticed is that there's always like this kind of underlining competition. And one of the things that I would do is that I acknowledge that, and I am doing everything in my power to make that woman let her guard down. And I see that so much in corporate, especially when it comes to funnels, pipelines, all of those things. Instead of acknowledging that it's going to take a little while for the woman to get to know and love you, they're trying to hurry up the process. And that's where your bully marketing, your manipulative marketing, all of those things come into play. And with that kind of process, if a woman is converting from that kind of process, she's going to feel the ick, period. And she's never going to probably buy with you again. It's cool if you want to get that one time sell. However, if you're really wanting her to come back and things like that, you're going to have to invest initially in getting that authenticity and trust and things like that, building that relationship.
Okay, so this is the like we're talking about what happens inside the restaurant. What
Yes.
can you help me understand a little bit more about how to communicate outside the restaurant with social media, email marketing, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So I think the best way to communicate is figuring out the medium first. So one of the things that I noticed is that email lists are huge for me. I think that it's just because I'm a really great writer and I feel like I connect with my audience, actually make them open up emails. I have about a 56% open rate, which is a lot higher
Astonishing.
than the national, yeah, than
Yeah,
the
like
national.
20% is average. Like, and
Yes,
below that, your
exactly.
subject line sucks. Yeah.
Yes, and honestly, the subject lines are great, but it's the stories inside. I'm a storyteller. And so one of the things that I don't see happening a lot is stories. And even in my training, I do a lot based off of stories. And I also don't see the vulnerability there. The people are not living what they're teaching. And so, especially when I'm dealing with stakeholders, they haven't been on the floor of restaurants. They haven't probably had those customer facing roles. And so they're more concerned with making sure that the stakeholders are satisfied. But when we're communicating with women, whether it's social media or something like that, I always find that the best communication is when I'm asking her to do something. It's like an exchange almost. Even if I'm doing an email list, reply back to my email. And not just about a sell, reply back to my email and let me know, did you enjoy the story? Was that something that you enjoyed? Like, do you actually like opening up my emails? I love that. And I've gotten that so much. And I really respect the process of getting women to know, like, trust me, because when that happens, women are just like, I'll throw my money at you, girl, because I like you, I know you, I trust you. And so when it comes to communication, storytelling, authenticity, vulnerability, living what you speak.
When I'm particularly interested in email marketing just because I've seen when it works, it really works,
Hmm.
and especially with bars and restaurants. And like there's kind of a divide in the philosophy in this. And I'm a fan of really simple subject lines, really simple emails that say, "Here's a thing. Do you want to go? Yes, let me know, and then here's the information." And that's
Hmm.
it from one person to another. Like, how would you characterize the style of your emails to, direct people to to do things?
I think that I do a mix of both. So a lot of what I do is like the design of the email. Yes, the content is there, but I do a lot of spacing, a lot of breaking things up. So it's almost like a landing page where it's like, if for the people who want to be short, sweet, and to the point, that's what I'm putting in the first paragraph. But if you want to read more, if you want a story, if you want social proof, things like that, that's also included in the email. So all of my emails kind of read like landing pages, read like sales pages, because I understand with women, there's like a mixed bag, especially when I'm thinking about sending out my general emails and I'm not segmenting. I really, really focus on the email design, the differences of headlines based off of segmentation. But I also think that there's something so important in community building with having a general email list that you send out to every one of your subscribers. But the design needs to be on point. I don't think a lot of people use enough space. I don't think a lot of people section off their emails enough. People want more pictures, they want more videos. One thing that I'm also finding that's pretty cool that I've seen is audio emails. And so people can kind of listen to your email like a podcast. The video is great, but they still have to sit down at their phone and listen, right? Or look. But if you set up your email like a podcast and someone gets to listen to the whole thing, it is it is so transformational. And I think the best way to do it is to just take the same exact content and present it in different ways for different learning styles. So even if you're segmenting the email based off of, if someone's a visual learner, you turn that email into a video. If someone's an auditory learner, you turn that email into an audio. If someone's really into reading, then you make sure that there's storytelling throughout all of that. So within that one email, you're accounting for all of the different idiosyncrasies and learning styles of the people on your list.
Okay, you're talking to a nerd here. How does that get delivered? Is that delivered like do you attach an audio file? And
Yes.
do you say listen to
Yes.
this?
Yes. And or even when I talk to my audience, like I would talk in real life. I'm like, listen, if you're not a person that wants to read through all of this, I've got an audio version for you right here. And I just think it's really important to talk to them like they're your friends. And I use a lot of humor, tons of humor. I got a dark humor personality. And so and also I'm a military brat, so I curse like a sailor. It's not too much, but just enough to sprinkle to let people know it's me writing this. It's not chat. It's not my assistant. It's me writing this and it's me connecting with you, me letting you know about really exciting things. Because, yeah, just like you said, you're a nerd about these things, right? I'm talking to nerds too. And like they want to hear about these things, they want to know it as well. And so I agree. I love it when I get to nerd out in my emails and all of those things. But I think more than anything, the design aspect of it and just accounting for different learning styles is so cool. And
Oh, I lost you there for a second. Oh no, looks like I lost you. You there? That's not good. It's the first time that's ever happened. You there? Oh, rats. Looks like it's just me. We're gonna see if we can get Champagne back. She was giving us some really good stuff about email marketing and how to communicate with women. I'm gonna see if we can get her back. There must be some bandwidth issue, which is funny because I'm reading a book about bandwidth. All right, so I don't know if we're gonna get Champagne back. We'll see what happens, but I'm definitely gonna be editing this out. But Champagne had some really good stuff for us. That's too bad. Let me see if we can reschedule with her. Okay, this has been an advertisement for AT&T. This episode is sponsored by the most reliable internet company on earth. Um, you there? Are you there? Okay, this has been an advertisement for AT&T. This episode is sponsored. Episode is sponsored. You there?